Hello, hello. Hello, how are you guys? What's going on, everybody? I want to check out my chat for a minute. So this one's going to be, well, I'm thinking it's going to be shorter and in terms of the curriculum, because it's not really a curriculum, it's more of a collaboration between myself and you guys. And a lot of ideas. The thing is about karma that I've noticed is that, let me get this adjusted, sorry. We all have our ideas of it, and most of us are right, even if they're different, right? So that's why I want to do a collaboration instead of me just like dictating stuff, because I have a long list of shit, as I usually do. But this time, look at this. Wait, you can't read it because it's it's orange. You got this page. Oh man, I traveled to page 3. It's that crazy. And I thought, fuck it, I'm just going to go on and we'll just chat because I could write a book. I could write a book on karma. So how's it going, everybody? Hello, hello. Anna P, how are you, my friend? What time is it there? Like, it's late, isn't it? You guys are at least 5 hours ahead of me. What's going on, everybody? Okay, I'm doing well. I hope you guys are doing well. So this is pretty easy, a pretty easy topic, believe it or not. There's going to be a lot of different opinions. I just put up, instead of doing a massive video here on karma, I decided I wanted to go live and talk about it instead because it would be more fun. But I did the tidbit because it's like, here's a couple of points to think about. And I'm not that old, so I've actually been through quite a lot, but I'm not that old, so I'm not like, I should have grabbed some 80-year-old fantastic female to come on here with me and talk about it because, and they're out there, because that would give us a different perspective in terms of generations and, but I'm going to start with the spiritual aspect of karma. And the one thing I talked about in the video I posted was, it's really similar to the idea of the law of attraction. And that's a whole new topic, but we can actually integrate the law of attraction with karma, because a lot of times people have the idea that karma is just past life. It isn't. It's current life. You can create karma in this lifetime and clear it out at the same time, which is actually a really, really amazing idea, right? So past life karma is very much undetectable. You have no fucking idea. If you are paying for something, paying, by the way, in air quotes, we have no idea if we're paying for shit from another lifetime. We cannot prove that. You can have dreams, however, and maybe things coming up in meditation that will help you understand if something was from another lifetime or not. But other than that, no, we cannot prove it. So there's a lot of stuff. You're 50 and fabulous. Of course you are. Of course you are, Jillian. Fuck yeah, you are. Oh my gosh. Well, the reason why I threw out the age 80 is because like they've lived far more years than us. But a lot of my information is coming from psychic readings throughout all the years I've been doing this, including my childhood and messing with tarot and runes and stuff like that. And conversations with people just generally. And when I have a normal conversation with a person as a psychic, this is the fun part about being psychic. You can have a conversation one-on-one with someone, your girlfriend, whatever, and you're still being psychic as you're just talking about random shit. So a lot of stuff has come out in my conversations with people. And Ann P, thank you. And so I've learned a lot from those conversations just coming from myself without even realizing I was actually channeling spirit and stuff like that, spirit guides. So I want to talk about the law of attraction first, even though it's like down on my list. I want to talk about the law of attraction. And by the way, I chose an orange pen tonight. And that is the second chakra, color of the second chakra, your emotions, your sex space, the energy you keep locked up on an emotional level. It's the space where we need to cleanse ourselves the most, by the way. And it's where we keep a lot of our past life shit. People don't realize that, the second chakra. it usually comes out through the second as well when we're dealing with people, right? So don't ask me why. I grabbed this, it's brand new. And then I realized it later. I'm like, son of a bitch, I picked this one. But the law of attraction, for me, and a lot of people may want to refer to the secret and go, but the secret says ... Okay, fine, we can do that. I do not believe for a second that you can attract anything you want, whenever you want to attract it. They tend to beat a dead horse with that movie, which I loved. I think her book is better because it doesn't constantly reiterate the fact that, or their idea that you can manifest whatever the hell you want. A lot of people who do law of attraction manifestation in the last 5 years have changed their perspectives. I've noticed that it started with, you can manifest whatever the hell you want and you'll get it. You just focus on it, you believe in it, and boom. Yeah, but then there's action, right? Then there's all this other stuff. Karma is kind of similar to the law of attraction, where we say you get back what you put out. So law of attraction has the same basic foundation. So you can get some things back. We all know what empaths are like. Sorry, I've got this thing on my computer. We all know what empaths are like. We probably put too much out there, and so we may have a fucked up idea of what we're supposed to get back. So let's start there with what you put out, you get back. It depends. How much are you meant to put out for that particular person? How much are they meant to return, if anything? You will have connections with people, whether they're romantic, platonic, business, etc., family, that cannot give you anything back. And it does not mean that they will have bad karma because they didn't return the favor. We have a thing called soul contracts, spiritual contracts. You can call them either one. And we are destined to meet absolutely every single person we meet. Absolutely. It doesn't matter how you meet them, how long they stay. That's destiny, okay? So that's already on the blueprint for the most part. And so we have contracts with people, and some of those contracts mean that it will be a one-sided situation. Why? Not to punish the other person, but so that you understand what a one-sided situation is like, to test your, I guess, charitable impulses, to see where you actually stand in your realm of spirituality, on your path, on your life path, and what are we meant to create for either our future in this lifetime or the next. So essentially everything we do creates this lifetime and the next, and none of it's bad. Even if, and I know this is extreme, I'm going to say it and you guys are going to go, are you fucking kidding me, crazy? Spiritually only. Remember, spirituality has no emotions. There's no like right or wrong in spirit, because everything's meant to happen. So even if you know someone who was killed, murdered, whatever, that was on their soul path. That was a contractual agreement they had with that other person. It is an awful thing. I have to say it, but it is the truth. So unfortunately, when we have mass shootings and stuff like that, those souls who cross over were meant to do, it wouldn't happen. They'd be in the hospital alive if they were meant to be alive. It is horrifying to know that we have already, contracted ourselves to go through that. It sounds horrible, but from an only spiritual perspective, not a human perspective, that's the case. So karmic debt comes from soul contracts. So now we're going to move on. I'm going to go back to the law of attraction and karma in a minute, but we start off with having a skewed idea of what karma really is, what the law of attraction can really give you. There's always action to follow up law of attraction and karma. They have that in common for sure. The other thing they have in common is what you put out, you get back. But if you were a murderer in this lifetime, it does not mean you will be murdered in the next lifetime. That does not always mean that will happen. Of course, we can't prove that shit anyway. However, there is that idea that if you do something here, you pay for it in the next life. It is possible. Absolutely true. I've had dreams when I was much younger, and I spent a lot of time meditating. I can't tell you. And as a fan of sleep, meditation was a no-brainer for me. So when I was in my early 20s, I spent a lot of time meditating, and I remember asking spirit specifically to show me previous lifetimes. How did I die? This, that, and the other, right? And then I got it, and I was like, dude, I remember this one visual I had, and don't know 100% if it's true. It could be my imagination, right? I say no, but whatever. I was in a car with a group of people smoking weed and I flew off a cliff. That's how I died. And then I thought to myself, well, then how come there's no weed around me in this lifetime? Is that why? Because I died smoking weed? I don't know. But it was in the 70s, and I believe I came right back because I was born in the 70s. So the way it looked like I died and came right back. It was like, oops, our bad, that was a dumb death. Come back and do it again, whatever it was. So it's really interesting. You can get dreams, you can get stuff in meditation, visuals and whatnot. Can we always prove that stuff is past life? No, but karmic debt is like your little piggy bank of shit you need to learn from old lifetimes. And it could be numerous lifetimes, by the way. It's not all just from the last one. So you can have multiple lifetimes and you might be kind of an idiot and you have to keep reliving it, and that's okay. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Sylvia Browne's book, The Other Side and Back. That was my first metaphysical book I ever read. I was 20. Because before I was 20, I used divination tools and just myself, but I started reading around 20. And she talks about soul contracts in that book. The Other Side and Back is probably her best book. In my opinion, it's her best book, but she talks about all that stuff in there. And I remember reading that book thinking, my fucking God, there's someone else there like me. I thought she was just like a famous person, but no, she reminded me so much of myself. And it's like, okay, so there is a collective out there. That's why we call it the collective. And she talks about the karmic debt in the universe, the piggy bank, the Akashic records, whatever. But the piggy bank where we have multiple lifetimes. And she talked about how she was a big fucking idiot. And these are my words, not hers. But basically she was an idiot, a moron, because she had I can't remember how many lives she said she had. And I remember thinking to myself, let's ask spirit when you go into meditation, how many lifetimes? And I got 22. I'm like, fuck me. I was here 22 times in various ways, I must be a moron. No, not really. It's actually the more lifetimes you have, the closer you are to never coming back. And it's kind of almost like, so when I had 22, that's actually young. She had like 70 something. It was some crazy amount. Someone let me know if you remember it. I'll have to look it up. But the multiple lifetime thing is where you put $1 here, 50 cents here from each lifetime or each, age in your lifetime. And it builds up. It's called karmic debt. And the debt, you repay it to the universe, to your higher self. Your higher self is your spirit. And it's all about evolution. In growth and learning. That's it. Evolution's all of that, learning and growing, essentially. So let me see my notes here. Hold up. So basically, it's like the events or the situation or anything that you've contributed to a situation that you just didn't get. You either didn't get it right in that lifetime, you fucked it up by hurting someone else, or you hurt yourself. Now, I want to talk about self-sabotage with karmic debt. It's the same thing. So I'm reading. I didn't put that down in my notes. It popped in my head just now. See why I have to go live? So basically, you can fuck over yourself and have to relive it. So everybody here that's thinking, boy, am I ugly? And then you self-sabotage, guess what? You have another lifetime to prove to yourself that you don't suck. Okay? Let me go through some of your comments. People don't realize this, that you self-sabotage ends up becoming a karmic thing. Karma is that cycle of lessons, and it's the aftermath of what you were supposed to get that you missed, basically. People think it's punishment, and I said this in the video, it's not punishment. There is no such thing as punishment unless you're a human being punishing yourself or someone else on purpose, basically. The form of punishment God, universe gives us is essentially a situation either similar to the one that we participated in last or a different situation, totally different, but the lesson that you were supposed to learn or what you need to make up for will come in that other form. The chances of you knowing someone is living their karma is very, very slim. This is why we always say, oh, I hope you get your karma, and if I get to watch, I'm lucky. Yeah, you're lucky, all right, because we never see that shit, ever. So in a minute, I'm going to share a personal story about my father. He's the foundation of everything I know about karma. And I didn't realize it until after he died, which was in February 2017, that I can't even believe we're this far into 18 already. But it was then that I realized everything I told my mother that would happen happened. But I was able to predict that based on human behavior and just maybe being psychic. I actually had a connection to him, I thought. I don't know, maybe universe. But he ended up proving a lesson in karma to me. And yet my mom is still in a place where she's in this mindset, and I don't know if it's a Gemini thing or not, but she's in the mindset of I hope he's burning in hell type thing. And so a lot of people think that karmic debt is punishment, and it isn't. It's just like that piggy bank. And once it gets full, then it's time to start paying the piper. And the piper is usually yourself, not someone else, right? So I'm reading my notes real quick. The past life stuff is harder to prove, but yet it's still there. It accumulates. And then the present life stuff, you'll know. Like you'll sit there and go, deja vu, or was that karma, or holy shit, I think I might be getting my ass kicked by God or universe or spirit. But I'm so sorry. It's not what people think. I mean, this is where I'm bursting bubbles right now. I hear women more than men, but I do hear people all the time say, oh, she's going to get hers. And I've said it too, of course. It's what you really believe, though. Like some people really believe that it's their job to kick someone's ass and like hurt them on purpose just to make them feel something. I'm going to tell you a secret. For those of you going through shit right now, which I totally understand, 9 times out of 10, if you're hurting, the other person has no fucking clue you're hurting. Even if they live with you, they're fucking clueless because they're a person with an ego too. So, yeah. Anyway, hold on. Let me check. I've been just going off here and I need to check to see what you guys are saying. Let's see. Oh, I get to see most of your, thank you for the hearts. You guys are fantastic. Hello. Good evening, everybody. Okay. Let's see what's going on. What's up? What's up? Little ODD, how are ya? Priscilla C, how are ya? Beth M, hi. Tamara, September Virgo lady. Julie H, is it Chastity? Yes. Everybody, hello. So here's the thing. Someone said something that I thought was a decent point, and I want to talk about it. The hell? Okay, so I'm thinking a lot. You guys are wondering what I'm thinking so much. You're just going to hear so much. Okay, I've got to find Stacy Fisher, there to guide others, sometimes not our lesson to learn. Right. So here's the thing. You never know what your lesson is until it hits you. And when it hits you, you're like, son of a bitch. It's usually son of a bitch. And by the way, I'm running sage right now. I don't know why I felt the need to do that. Does anybody have sage going right now or like incense? I felt the need to do it. And not that it's a negative thing. It isn't. But does your birth chart predict your life path? Sometimes. I think your birth chart can predict up to a certain level. I think everybody's different, but yes, astrology is an amazing science for me, and people don't believe it's science, but I do. I feel like when you were born, what time you were born, your placements. I was telling a client the other day, boy, I really need to put my chart out there for you guys. And because it's quite amazing. But yeah, I think it can predict certain things, certain events. However, you got to understand that even with astrology charts or everything we know about our placements and whatnot, you still have free will. And so free will does play into the karmic debt as well. You can technically choose to be mindful of free will, which is, your conscious mind now, or it could be psychic mind where that takes care of your free will, where you don't realize what you're doing till after the event happens. And then you can go back and check your chart for that current time frame and see if anything was in alignment with the free will choices you made. Like I said, there's 2 types of free will, and that's another talk, I think. But free will can be whether you know it or not. I guess I'm trying to find a simple way to put it instead of getting into all these like complicated titles. But I feel like you should be able to check your chart and notice that maybe certain things, maybe from the other person that was dealing with you at the time, there were certain events that, you know, could have happened that you couldn't help, like, you know, preordained things. Good and bad karma. I don't see that there is any. People are like, really? They're like, oh, you're going to get some bad karma from that one. No, you're just going to get karma. And karma is a lesson. And so bad karma is the feeling of, oh, great, this sucks. What the hell did I do? You know, good karma is like, woohoo, here's my reward. It's all a reward. We're alive. Write that shit down. I just said something good. The reward is being alive. Okay. We all have something to offer to contribute the world. And when we're gone, we no longer have a path or a contribution. It's not a negative thing either, because you cross over and then you guys go into your spiritual belief system with that one. But it is a gift. You are giving people a gift just by breathing. You are giving yourself a gift. And everything we experience here, even if it's shitty, and I've been through some shitty shit, shittity shit, it's a gift. And it's really interesting. Ooh, I totally screwed up my chat over here. Sorry. Hello, everybody. Okay. So even when it sucks, and it sucks a lot, and there's a lot of shitty people, and let me just tell you, in the last 10 years alone, I've noticed people in general, the collective, have gone from like very simple, you know, it's almost like they turned into incredibly complicated. This is just like, you know, throwing everybody into a big box of shit. It's like we're all drowning in the same pile of shit. And then people are all like about themselves and no one's willing to put their hand out to help others anymore. And I know that's not true. I'm saying it just seems that way. It seems like, you know, every 5 years there's a shift, or every 7 years, or, you know, whatever it is, right? And so I feel like people are more selfish, self-absorbed these days than they used to be. You know, I'm sure our technology doesn't help that. However, what has not changed are the simple laws of law of attraction, karma, you know what I mean? You reap what you sow, fine. At the same time, there are levels to what others believe is true karma, a true lesson. So I'm going to say this, and people may not like it. I'm going to say a lot of shit people don't like, trust me. If you're hurting, and I started to say this earlier and I jumped ship. If you're hurting, the other may not know you're hurting because, well, they got their head up their ass because we're all self-absorbed creatures anymore, egotistical, whatever. Not necessarily in a bad way. They could hurt you in a dire way, really bad, pretended to be your friend, blah, blah, blah. But you got to understand them. If you step outside yourself and you look at them, instead of thinking karma is going to get you, think like, well, what are they going through now? If they've got to lie to you, steal from you, cheat on you on purpose. Remember, I'm talking about those people, not the accidental, oh, fuck, sorry, I didn't know I hurt you. These are the people that appear to be narcissistic. Remember, there's a difference between a true narcissist and someone with tendencies, because each and every one of us do, but they may not have a fucking clue what they did to you. Will they have to relive that? Maybe, maybe not. And if you're hurt by someone that was contracted, sorry, I got the pen. I'm like, just sword, you know, it's like my Queen of Swords thing. I'm going to cut a motherfucker over here. But they may not have a fucking clue. And so that's where our lesson comes in. We have to see their perspective, even if we don't agree with it, even if they're a real shitty person to us, whatever, they may be in hell and you don't know it. So a lot of times their lesson is the pain they go through. And they may, unfortunately, use the empath or the person with the light bulb on their head saying, hey, I'm available for use. They may use that person naturally. It's like their spirit hasn't evolved enough to understand that law of karma. What you reap, you sow. What you put out, you get back. They don't get it. Or they don't know they're doing it, or both, which is really bad. If you get one that does both, you're like, oh God. Narcissism comes from ego, right? And true narcissists They know what they're doing. They don't give a fuck. The end. The people I'm referring to, this is what we need to watch out for when it comes to wishing karma upon others, is that they probably are already dealing with what we would think logically as negative karma. And then now you are in the mix, A, because you choose to be, because we are never around people we don't choose to be around unless we're at work where it's our family and we can't help it. But for the most part, if the relationship's romantic in nature, for example, or a friendship, you have a choice to leave that situation, you choose to stay, you may not be seeing their perspective, and should you? The question is, should you give a fuck about someone else's karma? Because while you're giving a fuck about their karma, you're creating your own, right? Karma, remember, is a new path, a life lesson. You're creating all the time. We're constantly manifesting. So it's not as simple as, well, cheer up, chickadee. If you have a good attitude, if you're positive, you'll attract positive. Not all the time. Sometimes if you're positive, you'll attract negative. Why? Because you were contracted to do so. So spiritual contracts, soul contracts, same thing, and karmic debt go hand in hand, right? Isn't that something? So remember, I'm going to read your comments in a second. A lot of this stuff can be contradictory, right? So you can have your own personal belief system about karma, for example, after leaving this session with me and go, homegirl's full of shit. I don't believe it. I don't care, whatever. Cool. Why? Because, well, you're meant to believe that. So you're here for many reasons. None of them have to be learning. Some of it can be, you're out here, you've got an opinion, you got something I don't have, you're going to put it out there because other people need to see it, including myself. That's totally cool, and I'm down with that. That's why I opened up the forum. So there's a lot. Oh, my turquoise, you said the word that I want to use. I think you said it. Subtle is the word. That's something I wrote down and I want you guys to be aware of. Karma happens in a subtle way. That's why we don't know if the other person's living it, getting what they deserve. I'm air quoting that. What they deserve may be something good, even if they fucked you over. Who knows why? Could it be a past lifetime? Maybe. But if they get something good, that's why we get so upset. We're like, why do the good guys always lose? Well, no, the bad guys, and I'm air quoting all of that. I'm just putting it out there. Just imagine me air quoting everything I say right now. The bad guys don't actually win. They're the ones that don't have what it takes to get what you gave. Remember what I said. They had to take it from you, but they couldn't come up with it on their own. Or you had something more solid and stable. You had something they needed but could not get. That's always the case. So the negative part of this is that, sure, they may have reaped the benefit of you and maybe some other foolish people, right? Foolish is in air quotes too. Are you really a fool though? Are you really, you know what I mean? So I think it's all about perspective right now. And then what happens to people while they're living their karmic debt, I'm going to get into that in a minute. How they receive their karma, how we receive ours is the same exact thing. And that's the part that people aren't going to like. Nobody wants to hear that, Joe Blow, who stole $50 from you or whatever, or hurt you or broke up with your best friend and beat her ass or did something, get something good. It may seem good. Remember, everything's about, perspective. It may look good on the surface, but do we know everything? No, we don't. So there may be a balance of negative for them and positive, and all you're seeing is the surface shit, right? Because you're not behind closed doors with them. You're seeing the surface shit and all disgruntled because, well, this person is living this good life and I'm not, and they, slept with my husband. Yeah, but they got the guy that cheated on his wife, right? So, let's talk about my father. You know what I mean? It's not up to us to decide when you wish something good or bad on someone else that's creating karma for you. Absolutely. Karma also means path, lesson, destiny. It's created, usually, So let me go back. There you go. Some of you guys have some amazing perspectives. Rochelle, is it Rochelle or Rachel? I can't, It looks good either way. I like your comment. Oh my God. Nicole Wright. You were with a guy that abandoned you, dropped you off at a homeless shelter, and then a year and a half had the balls to call you? What? The fact that he had to call you is something. He kept telling you he felt abandoned. Yeah, in a sense, it could be considered karma. It can also be considered just like the law of attraction. What you put out, you get back, you know? He felt abandoned. So great. Why the fuck are you calling me? It's like, okay, buddy, Illusion, what a good word. Tanisha Prince, absolutely. Kathy L, people are always taking from you. Stop giving. I'm saying it, I do it too. Amanda T, they're miserable deep down. That's why they tear people down. You got it. You got it. You're a nice bitch and you're a burn survivor. Well, I'm so proud of you. Congratulations. It might have been a previous lifetime thing. Absolutely. Because shit happens. We can't prove it. We have no clue why it happened. Absolutely. First name, last name. No. It's not. That's definitely not the perspective I want to push. All the people who believe in karma and God, that a horrible disease and suffered and all that, they deserved it. It's not karma. It's not, meaning it's not the kind of karma where it's punishment. If people get sick, it's soul contracted from either another lifetime, but it doesn't mean they deserve it. It means that on a spiritual level, which is above us, right? We are human, we are ego. This is above us. So whatever was contracted for them in terms of how they pass or the process they go through while passing on or crossing over, that has nothing to do with do you deserve that or not. I absolutely do not believe people deserve to be hurt in any way, shape, or form. Right? I don't believe that people deserve to have PTSD or be bipolar or just like plain psychotic. And you know what I mean? I don't believe they deserve that either. I also don't condone using things like that as an excuse for poor behavior, obviously. But I would say it's not about deserving. It's about what are they contracted for. I'm being like almost unemotional when I say that to you because it is unemotional. But from a human perspective, it's horrible. And I did say that at the beginning of the session, but I wanted to talk about what you said there real quick. Thank you, Jillian Jane. So Tiffany Rice, I love your comment. You seem like a bitch. I know I seem like a bitch too. I'll talk about fate in a few minutes. Fate is kind of like, the way I interpret fate is just destiny, and destiny is like the blueprint that we come into this current lifetime with. I believe some things are fate. I believe all things are fated, right? So I met you guys this way. It's fated this way. This is how I was meant to meet you guys. I wasn't going to meet you any other way. Probably not, right? It is absolutely possible to connect with your contracts and stuff through meditation. Yeah, maybe get a psychic reading, but I really it's very few people that can actually do that. You're not going to get a glimpse of it all because you're a human being and you're not meant to know everything. Even me as a psychic, and I see a lot of my own shit coming before it happens. It's amazing, but no, I don't get everything either. So we're not able to get everything that's already contracted out because you have to live it, So when it comes to, I love the way you worded that, Lala, insensitive behavior. So when it comes to other people's behavior, so this goes back to what I was just saying now. And what kind of a lesson or new path do they create for themselves karmically? Like what kind of a cycle, what kind of relationships will they have? If we talk about relationships and we say karmic relationships, those are straight up past life relationships, or cyclical relationships, usually they're negative. And I mean that in terms of codependent and stuff like that, and only negative if you make it negative. But when it comes to insensitive behavior and you detach yourself, that's just what you're supposed to do to take care of yourself. That's part of creating positive karma for you. Remember what I said earlier, and I know a lot of you guys weren't here at the beginning of this, but it's all about you. It's never about the other person. So when we focus on karma, we really need to focus on ourselves and not worry about, okay, if I do this, what'll happen and what kind of karma will I create? And oh my God, is that another quarter in the piggy bank? Not necessarily. It needs to be more about being yourself, being honest about who you are as much as you can be, because some people still live in fear, ego. Ego creates karma. Because like I said to you earlier, you guys, if you had negative self-talk, self-sabotage, all of that creates karma, and you have to relive that. So it's the cycle of reliving a negative situation that was created by yourself. That is actually your own karma. It is present life karma. Past life karma, we can't prove. Again, good and bad karma, I don't see a difference. I just see it as blunt lessons. I'm very unemotional about it. If it feels bad, then you can call it bad karma because, well, you know what? I might have led someone on when I was in the 5th grade. And then when I was in the 7th grade, a boy led me on. And so now I know what it feels like. Okay. That can still happen in the present life, right? That's a true story. Let me talk to you about the biggest thing I've ever experienced. It was with my father, and he and I weren't very close even when my parents were married. He was always trying to make it big, be super rich, and he's the guy, the very good-looking guy, who would go anywhere you would go, and there would be a bartender, a waitress, a waiter. He'd stop anybody and just talk about himself. The guy was an asshole, like straight up. He was a Scorpio Sag cusper, literally born on the first day of Sag, acted like a true Scorpio though. Was a total player, just crazy womanizer, insane, and hot. From what people tell me, I would never, ever, I would always get grossed out. But every woman that's ever met my father was like, oh my God, I don't see it, and he's straight up Dago, like the big black hair, like to the roof, short guy, real dark, huge nose. Obviously it's like me in dude form with he had much better hair, but whatever. And so he was pimping all the time, right? 24/7, 365. So he married my mother, and she didn't follow her intuition, and she's a Gemini. And Geminis always have trouble with their intuition because they're like, I don't know, like a Libra. They're like, I'm not sure. But she went for it. And thank you, Mom, for going for it. I'm here. And he was a cheater. He was a serial cheater. I don't know how long he was cheating on her, but when I was 6 years old, I knew. And I said, that my parents I made an announcement outside in the backyard. My parents were getting a divorce because my dad cheated. And they looked at me like, what the fuck, And then years later, he ended up leaving us on Christmas Day for another woman because that woman was not spending Christmas alone. Okay. So she turned out to be stepmom from hell. We went through so much stuff because of this woman. It was insane. Luckily, I detached. I knew at 15 years old, do not be a part of this toxic garbage. My sister was totally different. I'm like looking around, like, is he going to show up? But he definitely created a life for us that was miserable. He never stood up for us. He never showed he gave a shit. Everything was about luxury items. Like the minute he left us, all of a sudden he had a job that was like 6 figures, and we struggled for years. My mom paid all the bills. He was always trying to create these businesses. And like I said, he was always trying to be rich. He would come up with all these inventions. And anytime he would meet someone like from the news or get in the paper, like it was such a big fucking deal. So I detached from him right away. And I refused him for years. I did try to make up with him, but he was always a dick. Bottom line, fast forward 24 years later, He's on his deathbed. No contact with the guy. He's done nothing in the meantime but try and sabotage my other relationships with family members and even my own sister. It was awful. Come time for his deathbed, I get a phone call the day after Christmas. Okay. All right. Well, get a phone call and he's married for the third time. Big pimpin' over there. Sag, Scorpio, Sag, whatever. Big pimpin' was married for the third time because he was afraid to die alone because he had cast us aside. He finally divorced that hoe, who, by the way, got about 70% of my inheritance money because he had to pay her off to divorce her. She would not go away. So she got all the money. And then he married another hoe who stole the rest. And she was like his caretaker or whatever. In the end, he ended up, this was the most ridiculous death I've ever seen in my entire life. My father was surrounded with a bunch of bullshit, a lot of fake people. It was like a fucking circus in his condo. My sister and I were there thinking it was just going to be new stepmommy, bitches, her and myself on his deathbed. And it's like a fucking circus. And I'm like, well, of course, that's what he would have wanted, I'm sure, but it wasn't, because it was uncomfortable. It was a painful death. He did not die peacefully at all. And it came out later that his life with that other woman he left us for was straight up miserable for him. We thought he made our lives miserable. Turns out his was 20 times worse. Now, I'm not saying he deserved that. I say he created that because he didn't leave her. As a matter of fact, he was separated from her for 4 years before he allowed a divorce. So the point, and I didn't even give you like the good shit. Like, he was something else. And my life with this man was something else. I mean, I'm surprised I'm functional as an adult. I had some fucked up parents, but God, in the end, I had told me, my mom showed up, by the way, at his deathbed. Oh, that was so much fun. Like, the last person that I noticed that he remembered, that he could actually, I guess, visually see, because he went into a coma really soon after that, was my mother. So the woman that he hurt the most showed up at his deathbed forgiving him. It was crazy. So this man, after everything he's done, and he did a lot of bad shit and he didn't give a fuck, I swear to God, he was a narcissist, got my mother on her knees forgiving him at his deathbed. Of course, I told her, just do it for yourself. Get it out of, your hair. And now she's back to, I hope he's burning in hell. But he still got that. His daughters were there. His ex-wife was there, probably the only wife he ever cared about, honestly. His real family was there. Give me a second. So karma isn't what you think. Did he deserve to have us there? I don't know. That's a perspective thing. But that was an evil motherfucker, and so was his wife. Like, both wives, the other wives, not my mom, but the other wives, they were evil bitches, like straight up evil. And in the end, they still evil, But I'm saying to you, he still got what everybody wants, which is to have that family next to you while you're passing. He got that. I chose to give him that. From my perspective, my mother chose to give him that. My sister was going to do it anyway. So I'm saying to you, it's not what you think. There are things that we have to do, whether we like it or not. And and I didn't do it for my own karma. I don't give a fuck about my karma. I'm like, I'll live it. I'll do what I have to do, right? It's survival mode. It's make sure that 20 years down the road, or 30, 40 years down the road, I'm not sitting there going, I wish, I wish, I wish. You know what I mean? So we do things that create our next path in the current lifetime and in the future lifetime. Whatever karmic tie I had to that man, I took care of it. I know I took care of it. You just know intuitively. So I had a shit ton of daddy issues. Obviously, in the last 25 years, it was incredible amount of daddy issues. And In the meantime, while I'm dealing with my daddy issues or not dealing with it, I'm creating karma. See, I had a reason. My reactions to people, including women, men, it didn't matter if I was in a romantic or a platonic relationship, my reactions to them and my perspectives were shaped based upon my relationships with my parents and how I was raised and what happened and some trauma I went through with these people. And then I look back now and I'm like, oh, fuck. So now I have to think about all the things I did in this lifetime because of stupidity, because of pain. And can I fix it? Probably not. But can I make sure that I don't react in an unhealthy manner again so that I don't create something else in the future that would cause me or someone else more pain? Absolutely. Someone mentioned abandonment. Okay, the guy that called her back after a year and a half. I'm sorry, I forgot your name. I go into my own world. You had something identical to what I went through. He called you back because you were that hole in his soul. Like you literally left his soul and it never healed. So he called you back. And so that's what happened to me. They have no choice. Is it karma? Probably. Is it deserved? I don't know. Law of attraction. Okay, I think Jillian's saying something about that shit. Absolutely. Do the daddy issues have to do with who I attract? Yes, I just said it. I did it. It's not only who you attract, but it's how you manage the narcissist. For example, let's say you just attract narcissists, right? You have a bad habit of it. I did. I was in a situation for 16 years that I could never figure out. I always knew something wasn't right, but I could never figure out who the other person was or who the other element was of who was manipulating me. I finally got it. I finally figured out what happened. And it was an unbelievable, what the fuck? I didn't deserve that. But did I attract it? Yeah. It took me 16 years to figure it out. So sure, you can attract narcissists not because you deserve to attract them, but because you did not figure out how to manage them the first time. So if you got a pattern, you didn't manage them the first time, and then you figure it out every single time, you go through another narcissist or another asshole or whatever, or another asshole-ick situation. That's a word. I made it up. When does karma occur? It occurs when you're not paying attention. When you least expect it, karma happens to people. Or the lesson appears, the teacher appears, but the teacher doesn't know they're your teacher. Remember, I'm saying this, pay attention. Said it in the video, I'm going to say it again. Those who bestow karma upon us do not know they're doing it. This is not the asshole that hates you because you might have done something to him and forgot you did it, who come after you, you know. This is going to be the teacher, the, you know, I guess administrator or whoever it is of the karma. They don't know they're doing it. They're just there in your life, and whatever you are meant to get from them, you get, and then that's it. They go about their life. They don't know that they're your karma. And we make a joke, you know, there's memes out there. It's like, be nice to me, I might be your karma. It's kind of true. You know, if you can manage to be nice to everybody, and if you can't, okay, you're not, doesn't mean you're going to get a kick in the ass because you're a bitch one day. I mean, if I don't have my coffee, it's like, everybody fuck off. Is that karmic? No. But I mean, I'm just saying it's not. I don't know. But when your guard is down and you're sitting pretty, and then fuck, here it comes, and you didn't see it coming. Here's an example, a good one. A lot of you guys probably don't know, but when you're in a bad relationship of any kind, if it's just not working out, like I have an ex who I love dearly, but there's no chance in hell we'll ever make it work. I'm so glad he's married and, you know, living his life. When a relationship ends, that's supposed to end great. But if you go through a situation where you're with a really horrible person, or they're horrible to you, and you leave them and they don't see you leaving them ever, like they think they got a spell on you, or they're just arrogant about it. They just think, oh, she'll never leave or he'll never leave. And then you fucking leave and they're like, where'd they go? And then they realize, wait, I love her. I love him. And they're just clamoring to get you back. They can't live without you now all of a sudden. It's karma because it's called a lesson. It's like them realizing I'm a fool, I'm an asshole, and now they're desperate. It happens all the fucking time. I think it's happened to me once. But I've never been in the position where I've left someone and wanted to come back. Other people have with me, but it's not like a big thing or anything. So let me go through some of these because I have other stuff I want to talk about too. I don't want this to take all damn night long. So you do not administer another person's karma knowingly. And then if you are watching someone you think is getting karma and you're laughing your ass off, it's kind of a problem for you. It means that you yourself are wishing ill upon others and you still don't have the full picture. Like you don't know what they've been going through. And if something bad happens to them, like they get into a car accident or paralyzed and you're laughing about that, oh my God, I don't even want to know what's going to happen. So I'm saying that that's a creation as well. Our reactions to other people getting a situation, going through a situation. My father had 4 different types of cancers over a span of 15 years. He would beat each one, go into remission for a while, and then get more cancer. Like he was never truly cancer-free for 15 goddamn years. And the other cancers were, fairly manageable, but the one that killed him was pancreatic cancer. He was supposed to be dead in 3 months. He lived 5 fucking years. Why did he live 5 years? He didn't make up with his daughter. After I had to go to Detroit to see him, and I brought my children, he went into a coma and died a week later. See what I mean? 5 years with one of the deadliest cancers for men. Like you don't come back from that. It was a funky type too. They couldn't figure him out for a while. 5 years, given a 2 to 3 month, and notice there. There you go. 5 years. And then I knew it would end this way. I told my mother for 20 years and she would bitch about him. I'm like, Mom, you don't know everything. You don't know everything. Just hang in there. And he hurt me the most, right? And I'm the one saying it. And I was right. In the end, when I found out some information, you go to a funeral and you're talking to family members and random people that he collected along the way that you don't know, you find shit out. And that's when you go, oh my God. He had this huge house with like nice cars and all this shit that we didn't grow up with. And I never cared about that. I was only angry and resentful for the fact that he chose another woman over me and would consistently choose that woman over me, would not even spend alone time with me. He had all this beautiful shit. And in the end, it didn't matter. None of it. He was loaded. Holy crap. We found out after he died, he was fucking loaded. And all he ever did was cry about money. And I'm like, the motherfucker was loaded. Oh, but all his bitches got the money, except for the 2 bitches that mattered, my sister and myself. Isn't that fun, right? He also didn't have a will. So he went out like this too. So he's pimping, even in heaven, I think. Motherfucker's pimping. So you got to understand that when you don't know everything and then you're wishing it will, you don't need to. And then there's those people that are like, well, just sit back and watch. No, you're wasting your life. Don't sit back and watch for shit. If you're wasting your life waiting for a motherfucker to get their karma, then what do you think is going to happen to you? Literally, while you're on your ass, other people are living and getting the life you want while you're waiting for Joe Blow to get their fucking karma. So in the 20-some years I was without my father, I was living my life virtually clueless. Of course, I had stupidity in my head too about him. I was angry. I had my own issues. But I survived just fine without a father. And in the end, I look back and I go, boy, did you make the right choice. I do not regret leaving him. Not once. And I also do not regret going to his bedside. I don't. So that is the point I'm trying to make to you is like, while you're sitting on your ass, wishing and hoping and praying for someone to, be miserable, because you were at one point, because you think they made you miserable. And that's something else I want to talk about there. You're losing. They're not winning either, but you're losing. And that's all that matters, is that you're still losing because you've made the choice to lose. You've made the choice to attach yourself to someone else's karmic debt. Oh, fuck that. Why would you want to do that? Let me move on. Can you prevent karma? No. No, because that's part of what makes our evolution, or creates our evolution. That's what creates our next lifetime. You cannot prevent shit from happening. No one's got that kind of power. You're not God, universe, spirit, whatever. Your spirit decides what it will relate to. So when we egotistically react, we actually are meant to do that. People don't understand. If you're meant to be an asshole, maybe that's someone else's karma, but we don't know. And you can feel bad about being an asshole, but guess what? You were meant to. So I always make a joke. I say, if it comes out of my mouth, it's meant to be said. And no, I will not apologize for it now. Now almost 40. 20 years ago, I would have been, oh, I'm so sorry, blah, blah, blah. No, fuck that shit. If it comes out of my mouth and I offend people, I can't help it. Do I mean to offend them? No. The intent behind how we behave, and this is important, creates our karma, not what we do. What we do can be derived from abuse, right? PTSD, right? Abuse. My husband's ex-military, so God knows what his reactions have been derived from. So he's ex-military, so he's probably wacko because of that. And actually, he was an undercover wacko because of it. We had no idea he had PTSD. And then other people, maybe they got psychological issues. Maybe they're still being abused and you don't know it. Bad bosses. There's so many reasons why people are jerks and treat you like shit. But the karma is based on intent. The lessons are based on intention. So if you are on the receiving end of an asshole, not to say you deserve to be treated like shit in this lifetime, but if in a previous lifetime that was in your piggy bank, then hey, does it matter? No, none of this matters. Karma doesn't even fucking matter. What matters is that we understand what it is and basically how to deal with it. We can't prevent it, okay? All you can do is the best, right? Okay, don't label yourself. Remember, I'm saying this first. Don't label yourself or others. You start labeling people like bad person, good person. We all do it. We gossip with our friends and we're like, that asshole, blah, blah, blah. That's okay. You know why? Because do we wish ill upon them? No. We just right now think that they're an asshole. I've said some nasty, nasty shit. Now, here's another point I'm going to make to you guys. There's an okay perspective when it comes to karma. If you are in self-preservation mode, you're dealing with an abuser, or you are dealing with someone who's a manipulator, and you say negative shit about other people to protect yourself and their interest. You don't want this manipulator infiltrating your household, your space, whatever. You don't want them knowing that you love somebody or hate somebody or whatever. You want to protect your heart and your mind, and you have to be an asshole to do it. That's okay. Because your intention isn't to hurt people. Your intention is to, not that I agree with this, I've done it too, push them away for self-preservation, whether it's temporary or permanent. When you make the decision to cast someone aside, if you do it because you're a jerk, that's one thing. But if you're doing it for self-preservation, that's going to be forgiven. And what you're going to create is your own little box there, and that's your own karma. But it's not going to create another lifetime of bad shit, right? Okay, the don'ts. Don't fuck with negativity on purpose. Like, don't wish ill will upon another person because you were hurt. You're salty. I get salty. You get salty. Let's talk about cheating. My father was a serial cheater. And my mother will never, ever forgive that. Ever, ever. I get it. He knowingly cheated on her. He treated her like shit. He it was humiliating. I get it. Then there's the people, like I get a lot of clients who are in a third party and just found out that their boyfriend of 4 or 5 years was fucking married. And then they know the wife. Okay, that's a very rare situation, but it happens, right? So you're friends with your lover's wife and don't even know that they're married, or acquaintances, or you go to yoga with the bitch, whatever it is, you find out, is that negative karma? Nope, not for you. And if the wife finds out and she wishes ill will upon you, do you deserve it? You didn't know, right? That's a question for you guys to talk about here. Because some people will say, well, what the fuck? Why didn't she figure that out? People believe what people tell you. So if they don't tell you about another person in the picture and you're, happily in love with them for 4 years and you have no idea that they got a double life, is it really, yes, assholic. Assaholic. That's my new word. If you did know, then it's mostly still your own karma. If you got the wife wishing you dead or something, I mean, that still hurts too, because she's still putting herself through it. But what everybody is missing is the person who continued on with the, juggling act, right? Like on purpose, they were juggling, people it's like bitches get mad at each other, but they should be mad at the guy, or vice versa, whatever the orientation is, it doesn't matter. But the person in the middle that is controlling the situation is the one that people need to focus on, and less on the competition. And then, of course, the first thing we need to focus on is, why do it to begin with? What if you know that this person's unavailable? Are you going after someone on purpose that's unavailable? Okay. And then if so, why? That's a psychological issue. You need a therapist, because there's going to be some deep rooted issues. The thirsty bitches that will literally get into bed with someone who's married, right? If you are flirting or whatever, and then realize that they were taken, okay, you know what? There's lines all over the fucking place. I believe that it's within the parties to decide what's appropriate for them and what's not appropriate for them. I can't judge them. I was never mad at my father for cheating on my mom. I was mad at him for creating a life after the divorce, creating a life with someone else that did not include the most important person, me, and my sister equally, me. So I'm saying cheating is personal choices. On people cheat because they're afraid. That's why they do it, or it's the sex addictions, whatever other excuse they want to come up with. But it's never about the person they cheated on. And the person that gets cheated on usually takes it to a whole new level. But when I say pull back the perspective and look at how miserable that person was, understand that there was nothing you could have done anyway. And you're probably a little bit better off. You're way up here, they're down here in terms of vibes and how they live, right? Again, not trying to condone wrongdoing or hurting other people on purpose. So, but if you're on the receiving end of a situation, and I get this a lot, believe it or not, that they didn't know, they just found out. I had a girl one time, this years ago, she was like, son of a bitch. He met my mom. He met my daughter. They were going to move in together, and he's fucking married, not separated, married with other kids. And she was destroyed. I get that, right? So what she does with that experience actually creates karma too, not just what he did to her. So there's that. But then, I understand that, some people, like I get called a snake all the time. It's so hilarious. I get random people that I've never met calling me a snake. And I'm like, why the fuck are you calling me a snake? You don't even know. Like, I don't do anything underhanded. You think I do. So if you think I do something underhanded, somebody told you something, you're willing to believe it, and then you're going to sit there and call me a snake and wish bad karma on me. I'm just kind of sitting here, like I said at the beginning, fucking clueless as to why that person is wishing ill will upon me when I don't even know who the fuck they are, So there's that energy too. So that's a don't. Don't do that. Self-preservation we talked about. Law of attraction, again, it's all in your mind. You live in your head 90% of the time. We rarely live in our spirit. Nobody does. You're either in your damn emotions or in your damn head. You're not, maybe if you're meditating, Maybe if you're retired and you have all day to lay on your naked ass on the beach or some shit, you're in your spirit. But most of us are 90% either in our head or our heart half our lives, or over half our lives. So at this point, it's a matter of what you create in your own mind will manifest because you're living in that space. You created the space in your head. Nothing else matters but what's in that space. Your physical world will reflect at some point, maybe not today or tomorrow, but at some point will reflect what's in your space. Same thing with the karmic energy. Let's talk about relationships too. And I'm going to go to your questions and stuff. Ronnie, your uncle had 2 lives and your father knew? Lord. Oh, my uncle knew too. I found out after my dad died, he married this woman and then still had bitches. I'm like, did they come to the funeral? It's like, didn't even know. Oh my God. We all stay in our head. Layla, so I say it's okay to judge someone based on what your needs are. So you judge someone's personality, you judge their character, all that's good because you need to. You need to know if they're going to be compatible. Other than if they are now separated from you or they make decisions or whatever, I think it is in your highest good to not judge them like you're saying, because you might end up in their boat. You may be on the other side of the fucking thing, but you may be in their boat and not even know it and be looking at Joe Blow across the way going, oh, son of a bitch. There's that asshole again. You know what I mean? Parental and sibling alienation. Any kind of purposeful negativity does come back, but it may not come back the way we think it should come back. So here's the thing. It's best to not even fucking give them the time of day after you've been hurt because, it's a waste of your life. There's people that do evil shit to people all the time. And in the end, the way I see it is if you've been used or hurt or abused or whatever, I don't really care that much about them anyway. I just kind of discard them and think, what trash, fine, be trash, go live your life. I don't want you. Bye. I cut them out. You got to go. If you're false with me, bye. It's simple as that. But we don't know their perspective of us either. Like, people will go out of their way to hurt you because they say you hurt them. You will never know how much you hurt me, they'll tell you. I want you to think of me when you're in pain. Well, you know what? I've gotten those messages too. I don't even know who the fuck is talking to me. You know what I mean? I get those messages all the time. I'm like, okay, no. But I'm saying, when it comes to that real pain that you're going through, those other people aren't worth your time. Not one moment of your time. If you need to yell and scream about it, bitch about it for a year or 2, 5 years, do what you have to do. Get it out. Get rid of it. Find someone that you can trust to bounce that off of. Excuse me. Because then you can prevent yourself from being in that nasty box full of shit that you're drowning in shit again, right? Sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry. This is not my readings channel. That's Intuitive Pathways. I just posted 12 readings. Go over there and watch them. They're awesome. We're talking about karma tonight, and we're almost done anyway. And I want to go through you guys' comments because I know there's a lot of good stuff. My last note here was how you handle yourself creates the next step or the next lifetime and what you're meant to go through. It's your reaction to things, and nobody expects you to be positive all the time. Fuck, I don't expect you to be positive at all. When an asshole, I was going to call him an assaholic. When that assaholic comes in again, as long as you don't keep letting the assaholic back, right? Look at how stressed out I am talking about this. It's hilarious. You're so welcome, CE. See? I think we create more in our heads than we do in our behaviors, but it's perspective. I always say karma happens to everybody. Some of it we can prove, some we can't prove, some we witness. I witnessed my father's life. My grandfather, same thing, kind of. But I got to witness it. And I'm going to tell you firsthand, to see him suffer was not fun for me. I suffered for 30 years with him, and to see one whole week straight of him decaying in front of my eyes and watching him do this in the condo, not at a fucking hospital, so he didn't even get like the good drugs. Watching that was miserable. No, this man did not deserve that. My opinion. My husband will sit there and go, he was a piece of shit and blah, blah, blah. He didn't even know him, but he'll say that. And it's like, and you're judging, you know. In the end, I don't know what, the last thing I heard from him was, I love you, honey. Those were his last words, because the next thing I know, he couldn't talk. Those were his last words to me. I got his last words. So, and then I got fucked over by the dumb bitch he married, but whatever. So the problem that we're having with karma is that it's a cycle thing. So when we talk about your romantic relationships, and now I'll shut the fuck up. We talk about karmic relationships. Those are the ones that have the devil attached, the ones where you're stuck and you keep going around and around and around. It's ring around the rosy and nobody's falling down because it's push me, pull you, and teeter-tottering, and however you want to see it. No one's getting it. No one's getting the lesson. Or it was a past life relationship, and it's not like you're meant to be together forever in this lifetime. You're meant to figure that shit out and get rid of them. People don't do it because they think, oh, karmic meant to be. No, karmic means cycle. Karmic means the same bullshit over and over again. You know, you will feel an attraction to that karmic relationship because you've already been there. It's deja fucking vu times a million, because it's another lifetime coming back. That's insane, right? Even in the present life, like, you know, our girl said about the guy calling her back after a year and a half. It's like, God, really? How you choose to handle that. If you allow that back in, then you're back in the karmic cycle. If you break the karmic cycle, it's standing up for yourself, believing in yourself, loving yourself, and saying no. If you say no, you might actually be doing them a solid, because if you guys are going around and around and around together, that means it sucks for both of you, not just one. So remember that. So karmic relationships, never fun, never great to keep repeating. You know it's karmic because it just seems like there's always a disconnect at some point that's like really big and you cannot control it. It's similar to the soulmate situation. The soulmate situation is not always past life. You can have a soulmate that was destined to be your soulmate, not necessarily in your life, but destined to be your soulmate in this lifetime, but they were not in any other ones. So the soulmate is part of your own soul. And usually, and I'm going to talk about this another day, but usually they're far away. They could be younger or older, or, you know, they're totally generations apart and shit. You could have that like spiritual tie. And the reason why we have soulmates of different generations and different locations, different countries, different nationalities and languages is because we're all doing a job, and then we're supposed to come back together when we're no longer coming back to Earth or any other fucking planet out there, you know? So together we go through all these karmic lessons that Piggy Bank you may share with 50 people. So that's the good news. It's not just all on you, honey. You know, it's not like you have to do it all alone. Believe that you are out there with a lot of people you'll never meet who will help your shit out. Okay. So it's cool. Let me go through your stuff. Gotta find my mouse. Sorry. I'm at home, so I've got a different setup here. I'm sorry. Okay. I'm glad, Nicole. Thank you so much. So I'm not just trying to be like all positive about karma, and you will witness people going through some heavy shit, and it's either just or unjust. It just depends. Everybody's going to have a different belief system. It is okay to honor your own belief as long as you're not doing things physically against another person to make them pay. Revenge. I love that word, right? Like, who the fuck do you think you are? I'm not talking to my people. I'm talking about the asshole that thinks, the assaholic who thinks revenge is their duty. No. Can you expose the truth to help people like I did with my truth series and I got nailed for it? Yeah. Am I trying to take people down? No. I'm trying to inform other people of what's out there so that they're protected. I'm doing it out of the goodness of my heart. Plus, I've always dealt with that issue and it pisses me off, like fake psychics and shit. So if I have a forum that I can say, hey guys, you know what? You can get a great reading on YouTube, but you're going to get a bad one from this kind of energy. I'm going to do it. No, I'm not fucking sorry, because there will be people that get affected by that shouldn't be doing the readings, right? So what? Doesn't mean I'm a bad person, you know? So people can expose other people as long as they have the goodness in their heart, right? You're not trying to take people down. You're trying to lift others up. That is your goal, right? If you can do that, great. But revenge is the word that I don't like it, because people are tunnel vision, or they turn psychotic, and like someone that goes years and years, because I have someone doing that to me right now, years and years of planning just to fuck me in my ass. I'm like, really? I'm that important to you? Oh my God, you want to know what their karma is? Having to think about me every fucking minute of the day. That's got to be hell. Because I know I ain't that good. I'm not cute. I'm not sweet. That motherfucker hates me and he thinks about me every day. That's what you get, homie. That's karma for you because you did it to yourself. Believe me, this guy that I'm referring to, nuts. The worst kind of human. I've never even met him. Crazy. But I don't wish anything except for healing, and like maybe he can mind his own business and heal and not think about me, because the more he thinks about me, the worse he is. It's got to be horrible to be like that, right? Damn is right. So that's the lesson. I said it in the video. If someone wants to get revenge on you, they're already in a negative karma or a living negative karmic debt. They're creating it and living in it at the same time. It's like, oh God, you know, if you've done something wrong and you know it, fucking ask for forgiveness. If they don't give it to you, fine. If you don't want to ask, don't, you know? So there's that. All you need to do is heal. Focus on your own healing. They'll die eventually. Yeah. Vengeance and Klingon energy. It doesn't pay. It does not pay. You're going to pay for it, not the person you're trying to get back at. Like if you want to see someone react poorly to something you've done to them negatively and you get off on that, what? I don't even know what to say to that. It's horrible. Could your soulmate be another person's husband? And if you end up having an affair, will you receive? Yes, you will. You will receive karma from that. Can your soulmate be another person's husband? Yes. Does it mean you're meant to be with them? No. Does it mean, when I say, do you get karma from that? It means you will, it doesn't mean that they'll cheat on you, because maybe you were meant to come in, they were meant to break up. I'm not condoning it. I always say, if you meet someone, you're married, whatever, you're partnered, you meet someone, you should tell that partner and get the fuck out. That's what you should do. It's the polite thing to do. It's not any less painful, right? But yeah, in a sense, you're going to get karma from that, because you're going to know that you did that to some other woman. And in the back of your mind, you're probably going to have some fear that it'll happen to you and you will live in that. It's best to not go there. Do not go there. If you can avoid it, try it. I talk to so many people in those affairs, and I can't tell you what to do, because you'll do what you want, right? You'll do what you want anyway. But that is the most common thing I get calls about, honestly. Am I judging you? Am I wishing ill will upon you? No. My family was broken up due to cheating on the worst possible day to break up with someone, on the holiest day of the year-ish. But even in that moment, I didn't really judge the cheating. I looked at my father as someone who didn't have his shit together. And I looked at my mom as someone who didn't have her shit together, because people don't detach from one another if both parties are in it. Do you understand? So I'm not blaming anybody for that. And I'm not saying that you're going to get nailed. I'm saying you're going to nail yourself. If you follow through with a situation you know is off, but you have a connection to them, but they're with someone else, there's a huge chance that something won't go your way, and that will be your karma. Not necessarily that you deserve it, because that's not up to me to say to you. That is going to be you. You're going to hurt yourself the most if you're hurting, right? Just so you know. I know someone who is knowingly doing that to someone else. They don't know about sisterhood. And I've seen the accidentals, you know, like you didn't know someone was married, or you didn't know they were, and because the guy or girl didn't tell you. And it's like, wow. Or you waited till they broke up, but yet still people condemn you. The thing is people don't control their feelings very well. And people have egos, and some people literally will go after married people just because they have a hole in their soul and they don't really love them and they're destructive. So that's a different deal. You know, it does. Do the right thing. My father could have done the right thing. He didn't. Actually, he probably wouldn't have left us if it wasn't for his girlfriend throwing a fit on Christmas. He had hives. It was that bad. He had hives all over him. Oh my God. Like he knew it was coming, and he was stressed to the max, you know? And before he died, he actually basically said she did nothing wrong. He was talking about my mom. She did nothing wrong. And it's like, motherfucker, then why did you act the way you did for 24 years, you know? I am so sorry you went through that. Listen, I don't condone affairs. I don't, but I'm also not going to judge people who do. I'm not going to, you know, I can't. I'm not God. Is not my job. You know, just because I don't judge people doesn't mean, you know, I prefer that they would be just a little more upfront and honest, right? What about someone who married the wrong person? What do you mean? And we're talking about karma, so what is your question? I don't understand it. So is it possible that, you know, if you marry a cheater, they'll cheat on you? Sure. Is it possible they won't? Yeah. Right? So I know of somebody, water sign female, whose husband cheated on her a lot, married a woman, had another kid. This guy has a lot of kids, by the way. And something happened to this woman. She was, you know, into drugs and stuff. So she was an addict. And the ex-wife, every time this woman got in trouble with the cops, would make a big display about karma. Karma! Oh my God. I've never been so annoyed in my entire life. Thank God I'm not around her much. But I'm saying she would make a big display about this other woman. This other woman, they were already separated, by the way. So she did not have an affair. He just chose this woman over her, you know, and she was younger, you know, the drill. And they had a baby. So it hurts to think you're with your soulmate. They don't want you, dump you, and then jump right in with someone new. But that happened. You can't sit there and laugh at someone who's in the hospital or has addiction issues because they married your husband after you, you know. This is not, your marriage has nothing to do with that other person. Even in the cheating scenario, your marriage is separate from the person that they're with. You know what I mean? And it's not, again, fun. It's not to say you deserve it. Not to, you know, it's not just because this happens to you doesn't mean you know, it means that you were meant to go through that, but it doesn't mean you deserve it. You know? I'm sorry, I'm itching like crazy right now. You know what I mean? Karma is fickle and funky and subtle. When karma happens to people, they don't know it's coming. No one is like, I have people that go out of their way to hurt me, but that's not karma. People think it's my karma, like the ones that are doing, they're like, ha. No, that's not it. Sorry to say, you've chosen to do that, to act like this. I'm going to take it as a life lesson of who not to hook up with as a friend later down the road. How much time did I give that person? Let me tell you, the person that's after me right now, They had hours. Like, I can't even tell you how many hours I spent on them. Time wasted for sure. Like, they were using me the whole time. You know, it was awful. I knew it when I first met them, but I did the empath thing, which was, oh, that can't be right. Follow your intuition. That helps you in your karmic debt too. Yes, they think they are God. Yes, they do. If it's not done the right way, it will never be what you want. No shit. You know? It's not always, but remember what I said. Meeting soulmate while married. If you meet the soulmate while they're married, no, that's not karma. Well, it might be. They might be a past life. That could be karma. It's not negative karma. Just meeting them. No. You meet people all the time. Soulmate does not have to be love. I believe my son's my soulmate. Jillian, you're like queen bitch tonight. Love you. I love your comments. Everything's one big fucking lesson, and none of us are exempt from shit. You know what I mean? Right? Let me go back up. There's some people. You know what? If it's a soulmate, it can be attraction and soulmate. It sure can be. But here's the thing. It does not mean, like, it depends on what that person believes is a soulmate. For me, I only see soulmates as spiritual. Now, if they turn into a relationship, fine. You can be attracted to people that are technically a soulmate because, and the word is attraction, you nailed it. You will be attracted to your soulmate. It does not mean your mind needs to know the difference between a soulmate and a person who's available for a relationship. Soulmates can happen if they're married. And you can be in a relationship that's friendship or platonic or work with a soulmate and not bang them. Right? You don't have to bang your soulmate. Your soulmate could be your sister. Yes, Autumn. The word soulmate is like a pop icon. You know what I mean? That's what it is. It's not, people decide that soulmate means the person they're meant to be with. Then don't say soulmate, say something else, because soulmate is actually, spiritual. You know what it means? Wow, single for 6 years. I'm not sure that's your karma. It might be, Denise. I'm not sure. But you know what? You've got balls and I love you and thank you for sharing that. Takes a big bitch to do it. Soulmate is a soul from the same soul family. So imagine me as a soul and I'm cut up into 1,000 pieces. Each piece is a soulmate. Or I did this, I used to write about it. Take like a glass and drop it to the ground. Just like a drinking glass, drop it to the ground and watch it shatter. You can't put that thing back 100% because it's got all these little pieces. That's your soulmate. Those little pieces, my opinion of twin flame is 50%. People don't believe that. But like when you drop the glass, it breaks in a perfect, this is how unrealistic a twin flame is, people. It breaks in a perfect, perfect symmetry. You can put it back together and there'd be no holes or nothing. How rare is that? Drop a glass. Sorry, my eyes are itching right now. Drop a glass to the ground and then talk to me about twin flames. Just saying. So in the psychic world, people fucking take the term twin flame and turn it into some crazy bullshit that is not true. The chances of you having a relationship with a twin flame is probably the most rare thing, and it's probably not. You're just delusional. I'm being honest. There's probably no chance in hell. We have many soulmates, yes, but a twin flame is like literally like the other half. Like, good luck with it. You must be on your way out and never coming back again. You know what I mean? People are just not right about that. And then when people ask me, do you do twin flame readings? It's like, no, I don't. I can do compatibility readings. Oh my God, I'm itchy. compatibility readings, you know? Oh my God, rebelling mother. Yes. I mean it. You don't know if it's a soulmate. That's the thing. You don't know. I've got a long list of ideas of what will make one person think that they're with a soulmate. You know what I mean? I've got like a list, and that's a totally different video, and watch for that. You know, Lady LA, Lady La, not Layla, Lady La, Lady LA. It's the truth. I don't care what people are going to be like, what a bitch for saying that. And then they have all these readings out there. Oh, he's your twin flame. How the fuck do you know? Bitch, you better not be telling anybody they're your damn soulmate or twin flame in a reading, because you lying. Prove that shit. You can't. You know? I'm not a relationship expert. I'm a psychic. Tarot card reader, divination reader, spiritualist, relationship expert. That would mean that my relationship is fucking perfect, and it's actually the opposite, is not perfect, which allows me to learn a lot of shit and teach it. But the way I've decided to approach this, in case you guys haven't noticed, is more collaborative, because I'm a human. I'm 39 years old. I've been around the block a lot. Not a dirty skank, although I wish I could be, because that seems like it would be more exciting than the life I live. And I'm not perfect at all, not even close. I'm overweight, and I like to eat and drink a lot, but I'm a human, and I love people, and I can talk to sometimes dead people, I think. I'm not sure sometimes. And I can see the future and actually predict it and be right, which is awesome. And then when I run tarot cards, shit pops out, and it's like accurate and scary and cool. That's me. But I'm not an expert at shit. You know why? Because I'm not dead. I'm not dead. You know what I mean? So, but thank you for asking. I do appreciate that. I don't know about Taurus aspects. Dude, I am overweight. I'm 5'4" and like 1,000,000 pounds. But I enjoy my boobs. Like, they're good. I'm not ready to let them go yet. I'm working out, but I'm not ready to let them go yet. Okay. That's who I am. I just try to throw who am I in a nutshell. It's kind of funny. No, I'm cool, Karen. We're good. Chelsea, thank you so much, honey. Okay, so God, I'm itchy like crazy. I got a lot of energy at me right now. So karma, are you guys happy with my explanations? I think I did good. Anyway. Oh, I would totally donate my boobs to anybody. You can have them. Okay, you keep asking me about generational curses. I don't believe in that. Sorry. I'm sorry. I know you might. I don't. But it has nothing to do with karma. Curses and karma, not the same thing. But if you are trying to curse somebody with ill intent, well, their belief system, the Wiccan, the pagans, they believe it comes back at you. So don't do it. And I don't believe in the generational curse. I believe in free will. I'm sorry. Okay. Thank you. You guys are so lovely. It's different. Like, I'll end our discussion tonight on just like, I would love to believe it. I'm just saying, I told you about my dad because, well, I'm always putting my shit out there. It doesn't bother me. And he's dead and he can't sue me because he would probably. But I told you about that because it really opened my eyes. I thought I knew everything about I predicted everything, and I thought I would, and land after he passed, knowing it all. But in the end, I still learned something, and he didn't mean to teach me it. He was on his deathbed. Nobody else meant to teach me anything, but I learned a lot. I learned so much. He wasn't the first person I witnessed dying either, but to see someone transition from one world to the next is incredible. And it's a gift. It sucks for them. It sucks for the family. But if you are able to see that for a family member, oops. I don't know if you guys can still see me now. I'm getting like cut off. Okay, I'm back. Oh my God. I'm reading some of your comments. You guys are hilarious. Sorry. The transition for me was wild every time I've seen it. But the weirdest thing is the connection we have to humans. And so this is how I'm going to end our karma discussion. No matter which way you slice it, if someone hurts you, you have a tie to them. And if they hurt you, be grateful that they gave you a reason to cut the cord, because we're not truly free when we're locked into all these, different types of relationships, especially the ones that drag us down and don't lift us up and allow us the majority of the time, because nothing's perfect, that don't allow us to be who we really are. So if someone fucks you over, they gave you scissors that you wouldn't have had access to. My father gave me he gave me scissors, and when they went dull, replaced them every time. Like, just here you go, here you go, here you go. You know what I mean? I'm so sorry, Melissa. What an awful thing. Like, it's crazy. I'm so sorry, Miss Fortune. I did make an announcement about us starting early, but and I did it because I have to be, here at home. Wow. So I'm just saying we are connected. And so you'll find out how connected you are to even evil people. And I say evil, like I'm not judging them. I'm just saying people that do bad shit on purpose. They're evil. That's just like, we got to have fun, right? Like, I don't want this to be so serious to where everybody's like watching over their shoulders all the time. You know what I mean? So anyway, I want to just say thank you. Really, I appreciate you all for being here and for listening to me babble and shit. But yeah, my perspective is different. Not that I wish ill will upon anybody ever, but the idea that someone else will pay for what they do to you, it's okay to say it, it's okay to think it, but to truly believe it in your heart and, you're stone cold, no. But you're going to say shit. You're going to say mean shit about people. You're going to do things out of self-sabotage. You're going to do things out of self-preservation. Not everybody is, you don't have to pay for every little bad thing you think you do. If you feel sorry, if you're like, oh my God, I didn't mean to. I didn't know. I didn't mean to. People punish people and they don't even know they're being punished or why they're being punished. Like I said, I've got someone out there like going at it and I'm like, I don't even know what I did. I don't even know your name. Like, are you serious? I don't even know your name. And you want me to remember you? Seriously? No, that's not happening. Karma is real, but it's also created by ourselves. We do it to ourselves. And even people that think they're administering karma, they're doing it to themselves even worse. So just remember that, okay? Cindy, thank you. Oh, stalkers, that's another show. We'll talk about that another time. Layla, absolutely. Do not be afraid of karma. There's nothing to be afraid about. There's nothing wrong with learning some new shit, no matter how you learn it, right? I had to learn, like I talked to you guys earlier about a narcissistic situation, manipulation I was involved in for 16 years. I know now why, kind of, But I didn't know everything about all the key players in the situation. I figured it out later, and it's like, wow, really? I'm telling you from experience, people, you don't know everything all the time. You may think you know, you don't. No one does. So, yes. New perspective is always fun. Kiss, kiss. You're so welcome, my friend. Ronnie, yes and no. Like, I think I just, yeah, it's for me too. All these things are for me. I'm not on YouTube for like entertainment value where I'm trying to be famous. I'm here for a reason. I'm actually here for like a lot of reasons, but I think that we all get something. This is why I want to do collaborative shit, you know? I'm sorry, time stamper. I'm sorry. Did you, by the way, get any key points and timestamp that shit for me? I'm just curious. You're so awesome. Thank you. Good, I'm glad. Okay, well, feel free to leave your comments, like anything we didn't have time for. Leave your comments in the box below after this is published. It should be like 10 minutes. And don't forget to go over to Intuitive Pathways at YouTube. So it's youtube.com/Intuitive Pathways. I got all 12 of the weeklies up early. I did it. I did it. So I will be having a couple more videos posted this week. Please support Veronica Ray by clicking the subscribe button here and set your notifications. I'm itching like crazy today. It's crazy. I'm going to go on Facebook in a few minutes to do their reading. But so if you want to go over there, it's facebook.com/Intuitive Pathways Net. And thank you for supporting the channel. I am on a roll. I am trying to get my 4,000 hours of watch time so I can get monetized here. And I'm like that close already. I'm so excited. It's under 30 days. So thank you for watching this. Thank you for being here in the chat, for engaging. I really, really appreciate the support here. I did not, the reason why I'm not posting all this stuff over at Intuitive Pathways is because I like my interaction with you guys to be really simple. And I want it to be different. I want everything separate. And I love the fact that we can connect this intimately over here. Over there, it would not be. It would be like crazy and negative. So thank you so much. And I will see you again on Saturday night. So be on the lookout for the next topic. I will let you guys know probably on Tuesday. Okay? I'll see you at Facebook. Give me about 15 minutes to just kind of decompress, and love you guys. Mwah. Okay, I'll see you soon.